I did not decide or choose to be a human rights defender because being born a woman in Kenya, it's like it predisposes you to just fight for your rights every other day. My name is Malala Luta, a human rights activist from Mombasa, Kenya, currently a shelter city guest at Utrecht. I am a women's rights and LGBTIQ rights defender. I work mainly for the inclusion and non-discrimination of LGBTQ persons, currently working with an organization called She-Huru based in the coast of Kenya. Currently, it has been so difficult for gender and sexual minorities to just exist in the country. We also have the laws that criminalize same-sex act, which has led to more discrimination and more violence against the queer persons in the country. In the past 2 years, we've had a bill introduced in Parliament with the name the Family Protection Bill, but basically it is not anything related to family. It is just an anti-homosexuality bill that criminalizes being queer in the country. So with all these laws and cultures and religion, it is quite difficult for gender and sexual minorities to exist in the country. We also have a lot of femicide cases which targets every woman in their different identities. And perpetrators are not held accountable. The government is quite silent about it. And the cases keep on happening every other day. And our biggest concern is we want the government or the president to declare femicide a national disaster, because that is exactly what it is right now. At She-Huru, as we fight for the inclusion and non-discrimination of gender and sexual minorities, our main focus has been to end violence and to have affirmative healthcare. So we do a lot of response and support to survivors of intimate partner violence, gender-based violence, hate-related violence, and we just give them support, the psychosocial support that they may need. We do offer legal aid services, and we also link survivors to rescue homes for those who need it. The dangers of my work include, when we talk about the stigma and discrimination, it also affects human rights defenders working in these sensitive issues. So there's a lot of stigma in our work. There's a lot of discrimination in different spaces. So sometimes you might find attacks as a human rights defender going to respond to a human rights violation. And as a human rights defender, you also face some backlash from the government. And the country we're living in right now, we've had a lot of human rights defenders be arrested. We've had a lot of human rights defenders turn up dead. So there's always a security threat both from the community and from the government. The specific incidences in which I was involved include in 2019, after we had organized the Total Shutdown campaign, which was a campaign against femicide in Kenya. Alongside other organizers of the event, our photos were taken and they were shared on different social media platforms just for ridicule and cyberbullying. Another incident was in 2022, where I was working in a different part of the country and we were doing sensitization of different essential service providers, and after our work, alongside like 2 other human rights defenders, we were like physically attacked on our way home. And I think the latest one would be in last year, 2024, after the End Femicide march that happened in January. There were like attacks and threats from different people, some claiming to be representing the government, some just being part of the community. And so at some point we had to like live in hiding for some time, just to avoid in case the threats were made real. I did not decide or choose to be a human rights defender because being born a woman in Kenya, it's like it predisposes you to just fight for your rights every other day. And then it did not help that I was a queer woman, so it was like I did not have a choice about what I was going to do. It was either I was going to fight for my rights or I was going to be put down my entire life. Like I was going to live in the shadows my entire life. And that was not something I was ready to live with. I wanted to make it better for myself, and then with time I wanted to also make it better for other people. And I think that is where the fire to fight for human rights, women's rights, LGBTQ rights was born.
We march to show solidarity with all the women and girls who've been survivors of gender-based violence this year, including women and girls who are survivors of sexual, physical, psychological violence, including rape, incest, and sexual harassment. Physical assault using hands, weapons, and tools, hot water, acid, or fire. Domestic violence and intimate partner violence. Stalking and doxing, but to name a few.
The reason I decided to come to the Netherlands for the Shelter City program was because the program offered me an opportunity to rest, an opportunity to be away from the situation back at home and just rejuvenate and re-energize myself and be ready to go back and work with my community. It was also like an escape, a short escape from the security situation that has been in the country since like the past few months, where there have been a lot of attacks on human rights defenders, a lot of abductions, a lot of deaths, a lot of torture. So this was both a security escape for me, while also space for me to take care of myself. While I'm here, I'm able to raise awareness on the situation that is happening in Kenya with regards to human rights and LGBTIQ rights. I'm also able to do a bit of lobbying, and I'm able to learn about digital, physical, and organizational security while staying here. I am a firm believer of rest is resistance, and it is impossible for you to pour from an empty cup. So for me, this was an opportunity to refill my cup, that I can be able to continue pouring to the cup of the community that I work with. The international community can help by amplifying the situation that is happening in Kenya and sharing the work that human rights defenders in Kenya do. The work that we do also requires a lot of resources, just responding to these cases, providing psychosocial support, providing transitional homes for survivors. It requires a lot of resources. So definitely finances are a big part of the work that we do, and any donations toward our cause would definitely come in handy. We have a website, She-Huru. Our presence is all over all social media platforms, so you can follow us there, and then you can reach out to just know how you can assist. My hopes for the future is to live in a Kenya that is free, a Kenya that is inclusive of all persons, regardless of their gender, identity, or sexual orientation. A country where being a woman is not a death sentence. I hope to live in a community where human rights are universal and they do not just apply to a specific section of people. I hope to live in a community and a country where women, girls, gender and sexual minorities, and other marginalized groups are free from violence.